Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. Sit down, it's nothing. Got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. You don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. Sit down, miss nothing. Got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop.
Hey guys, how is everybody doing? Y'all, it's hot as hell still in Georgia. I had to run out earlier and I was like, dang, what happened? I wanted to be like 60 or 70. It is like 80 dang on degrees out there. So I did not like that. Where is everybody at? Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing in the chat? I'm just checking the chat, that's all. So, I had jumped on earlier. I had the opportunity to speak with simonguobadia. And for those of you guys, hopefully you know who simonguobadia is. If you follow my channel, you know that is Porsha Williams, now ex-husband, Porsha Williams of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, here's the deal. I sent him a message some time ago. And in all honesty, I had forgotten about it. You know, Simon had did a few interviews. So I hadn't even thought about it. And I had noticed that he had sent me a message a couple of days ago. And I told him I would, you know, reach out to him. And then this morning, I was like, you know, this is the perfect time to kind of reach out to him because I hadn't, you know, started my day. And honey, we talked for about an hour. So it was a very long conversation. You know, he just pretty much talked about and said the stuff that he wanted to say. But what I wanted to do is try to break it down into conversations for us because it was just a lot of stuff. But one of the things that I would like to say, because a lot of times, you know, when we're reading this information, we're just reading the information that we see. Example, when all of the information came out and they were like, he's a scammer, you know, he's been, you know, all the stuff that was being said. And I think it was one of the places I saw it was saying that it was coming from the government. So we read stuff and quite naturally, we just go off of what we believe. But I want to tell y'all this. I do not feel like this man is a scammer. He seems like a really nice, down-to-earth person. Now, that was just my first thought of just talking to him. He seemed like a really cool, down-to-earth person, like a real genuine person, okay? That's what I got from him. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, I had a lot of questions, but I really just let him, you know, say or whatever, you know, whatever he wanted to talk about because you know, at this point, like I said, he had did a few interviews and I had really forgot about, you know, that I had sent him that message because I believe I sent him the message around the time that he got out. Okay. So What I wanted to talk about for this particular video is strictly the house. Hey, Porsha girl, I know you're here. Now, I had did videos before, and the Simon agreed. He said, I've been watching your content, and he said, I don't know where you've been getting your information from, but you know what you're talking about. And I said, well, thank you, Simon. So, y'all, let me check the likes, because one thing that I ask when y'all come in is that you like the video. It's free for you to like the video. So if you haven't liked the video, can you go ahead and like the video before I get started, please? I would appreciate that. And I'm going to check it. So if you are in here, please go ahead and like the video. So as I was saying, so Simon said that he had watched my content and thought, that a lot of the things that I said, he was like, oh, okay, not sure how she got that information. Okay. So we have been talking about the property, which is the marital property. And let me kind of break it down for y'all. Marital property does not mean that you and your wife or you and your husband went and bought this property together. So this is important for people who own stuff who may be thinking about getting married. Marital property means that you and your wife or husband lived in the property. So although Simon bought this property before they got married, it is considered marital property because him and his wife lived in it. I want y'all to understand that. This doesn't mean that they bought it together. It means that married wife and husband lived in it. It don't matter who bought it. She could have bought it, but in this case, he actually bought it. We also know that he put about $2 million or something like that on this property. So the title of this video, Simon explains why Porsha Williams will lose this mansion to foreclosure. And it's real simple. And in all honesty, I had already said this. So it was really nice to speak to him on the phone, and he confirmed everything that I had pulled out of my brain, because y'all know I went to the court hearing. I was able to hear all of the information that they said, and just gathering from what I heard and what I had heard from other bloggers. I think he had talked to some other people. I arrived to the conclusion he is not paying it. We had figured that out. We also already knew that he had been deported. So he didn't pay it. He deported. They can't do anything to him. We figured that out. That was real simple. But one thing that I had not figured out, that I was able to figure out as this process played out in the media between him and Porsha, is, well, two things. One thing is, Simon did file an appeal, okay? So he did file an appeal. But I want you all to understand this. And he told me this, and he made it very clear, because I asked him, I said, Simon, what happens if you lose the appeal? Now, he will find out, I think he said in about 5 days or so. Don't quote me. It's something like that. Well, here's the deal. If he loses the appeal, he still ain't paying. He hasn't been paying. As you guys know, Porsha is trying to now get the property to be switched in her name. So this is what he told me. Are you guys familiar with an interest-only loan? Or you're probably not even familiar with the jumbo loan. I'm only familiar with it because back in the days, I used to be a mortgage broker. But a jumbo loan is for properties. I believe it has to be over 2 million. I could be wrong. It could be $1 million, but it is significant. It is for properties that's valued at a high amount, per se. So let me kind of explain to y'all how, and I've been saying this all along, because there's no way that you can be Simon's age, have been married the times that he's been married, and I know y'all gonna say he a scammer, but y'all can continue to think that the man is a scammer. There's no way that he can be a scammer like y'all say, and he ain't in jail. Okay, y'all do understand that when he was arrested and went to ICE, that they went through all of his financials. So he probably not a scammer. So what this simply means is, I kind of lost my train of thought, y'all. I totally lost my train of thought. Okay, so with the interest only loan, it is exactly what it says. you are paying the interest. Now, y'all know when you buy a house, anyway, you're paying some principal and some interest. But get this, Simon stated when he took out this mortgage for this property, he intentionally got an interest-only loan. Well, interest-only loan, it does reduce the payments, but it's also, I'm sorry, but what it also does is it keeps it's going, let's say if the property, if you took out a loan for 5 million, okay, if you're paying interest only in 3 years, guess what you're going to still owe? 5 million, because keep in mind, he's only did a interest only loan. Now, if Simon does not win the appeal, he ain't paying. He still is not going to pay. But I'm going to tell you what is going to happen. And he pretty much confirmed this. And that's why I said, I already said this, just thinking outside the box. Now, if anybody in the chat has ever owned a property, maybe you've never got sued before. If you have never got sued before, congratulations to you, okay? I owned my first property when I was about 22 years old, and I was very young and was terrible with money. So what happens is when people sue you and you own a property, they can attach it to your property. What that simply means is that Simon has enough debt to fill that MFR up. What essentially now that means is Porsha going to pay Simon's debt? Because she would probably have to be able to get that house. So in layman terms, what I'm telling y'all is if the judge, if they don't reverse this, she would not be able to get this property anyways, if I'm making sense to y'all, because simply he has enough debt to, let's say the house has let's just say it has about $3 million in equity. He might have about $4 million in debt. So what that essentially means is there is no equity. What it now means is that a property that Porsha was probably going to get a $4 million loan, if he owes about $4 million in debt, ain't that like $8 million? But this is where it gets interesting. The bank will not give you more than what the property is worth. So essentially, it's not going to work. So what Simon has assured is that this property will, in fact, go into foreclosure. Now, if the judge doesn't reverse this, it has went to the Court of Appeals. If they don't turn this over and say, hey, we're going to make, a different judgment here, maybe turn it around. The fact of the matter is, if they don't do something in terms of making it fair for him, as he feels like this isn't fair, the property is going to be lost in foreclosure. Because listen, there would be absolutely no way that she will be able to get it. For one, his debts that he have will be attached to the property. She would not be able to get a loan on that property until those debts are paid. So there's no way. So, and that's to what I was saying, guys, when I said Porsha isn't very smart, because I feel like, and also y'all, after talking to Simon, this is one thing that I did learn, because originally I really felt like, okay, I feel like, maybe Simon wanted Porsha for her celebrity, and I feel like she wanted him for the money. But I feel like now, after talking to Simon, he really loved that woman. I don't know why, y'all, but he really loved Porsha. I don't know why, but I'm just telling y'all, he really did. He really loved Porsha, but because I wanted to find out from him what happened. Like, because what I said to him is, I said, from the information that I have, it seems like for some reason you just don't want to pay Porsha, because you didn't do that to Fallon. Let me tell y'all where the shit began. Because a lot of you all say, why did he sign it? Or why did he sign it? Well, I had the same questions, and I'm going to give y'all the answer. He signed it because he wanted to. He wanted to sign the prenup. You got to understand. I did say that he loved Porsha. So if you love somebody, sometimes you will do crazy shit. I know y'all done love some people that you be like, ooh, why did I do that? So he was in love. So he wanted to make her feel comfortable. He wanted to make her feel like if the marriage didn't work, you still are going to be in a good situation. But it seems like she may have tried to use that situation to her advantage. And that's when Simon decided, I'm not paying this hoe nothing. Okay. Another thing I learned about Simon, y'all. Simon is a Gemini. Do we got any Geminis in the chat? Listen, I'm a Gemini, so I can speak for Geminis. I don't know if all Geminis are like that, are like this, but you always hear people say, Geminis, they got two sides. And this is what I always say. I do got two damn sides. A good side, a cool side, and a FAFO side that you don't ever want to meet, okay? And when I was talking to Simon, I said, Simon, are you a Gemini? And he was like, yes. And I was like, I get it. I understand. Simon is the type of person that he will help you to a fault until you F over him. So in this situation, yes, he signed a prenup. He loved her. He wanted to help her. He didn't care that the prenup was one-sided, because it was one-sided. He wanted her to feel secure. He wanted to be able to keep in mind she had stopped working. So it was a thing, as far as if she's not working, he wanted her to feel secure in knowing that she would be able to get an income. So he signed the prenup because he wanted to sign it. He wasn't tricked. He wanted to. But what he did tell me is, even in the prenup, the prenuptial agreement, which I learned is it's a bunch of pages. There's also language in there, although it doesn't really seem like it, that kind of protected him. Like, give you an example. One of the things it said in the prenup is that she cannot film in the home. And she did. So those are some of the reasons that they are disputing it. Now, another thing I want to address. I see a comment or two or three where people say, Simon is bitter. He really isn't bitter. In fact, you know what he told me? He said going through this, at some point to him, it kind of became funny. You know what I mean? I don't know, have y'all ever went through something where you had to laugh to get through it? So what he said was, he felt like he was being played with. He felt like he was being used. He felt as if he was being taken advantage of. Now, remember I told you guys earlier in my video, Simon has shared the story with Porsha's mother going to Costa Rica, and then ultimately now she's stuck over there because they done took her damn visa, because she done told the damn people that she not a United States citizen. He felt like he had this close relationship with Porsha, her mother, and her daughter. Now, it was very interesting that he is including Porsha mama as if Porsha is a damn kid. I mean, I don't know what type of relationship that was, that he has to always include her mother. But one of the things he said is, he said, I felt as though it was me, Porsha, Pilar, and her mother. So it was like he felt like it was just them pretty much against the world. So he actually loved this woman enough to include her mama. Now listen, I don't know how people this old is including their damn mama, but I guess this is how the relationship, was going. So what he said was, he felt like he was being toyed with. So what he decided to do is, since they wanted to play with him, he gonna have the last laugh. Okay, he gonna have the last laugh, because you started this, right? You wanted to play this game. And I'm gonna be honest with you all, the mortgage is in his name which means every damn debt that he owed will come out of the equity of that house, because more than likely it's going to go into foreclosure. I don't see a way that she can get out of this, for the simple fact that Simon already told me he has enough debts, honey. The debts are there. All he got to do is unleash them. So I don't know who will want to be in that type of situation. Yes, he feels like he was, well, punked. Yeah, that's a good word. And who wants to feel like that? Like, it's not, and I know y'all keep saying he ain't got the money. Y'all must ain't never been around people with money, because y'all keep thinking that he's a scammer. Well, y'all can keep thinking it. But get this, y'all. Dating Porsha, this is what he said. And this is how you got to kind of understand the type of person that he is. He's dating Porsha. This is month 2. He says he wakes up and Porsha is crying, bawling. He's trying to figure out, like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Now, if y'all watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, you are very familiar with the Bolo Gate. I know y'all know about the Bolo Gate, when everybody was dragging Porsha because they said, "Ho, you know you slept with that man." Y'all remember? Porsha did not come back. Simon said Porsha was crying and he was like, "What's going on? Like, what's up? What, you okay?" She said she did not want to return back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she felt like nobody liked her, which, in terms of the fans, because y'all was like dragging her, like, "Girl, you slept with him, you a hoe, you this and that." So Simon, think about it. This is a man that she's dating who is trying to look out for her well-being. And he's like, look, you don't want to go back. Don't go back. She says she wants to travel. He's like, cool, I got you. They agreed that he would give her $30,000 a month. This is because this woman isn't working. I'm going to give you $30,000 a month. And I know some of y'all, $30,000 is a lot of money, but you got to understand, a person that got a lot of money, that's probably not a lot of money for them. So $30,000 obviously wasn't a whole bunch of money for him, because he probably wouldn't have gave it to her if it was. So he was so concerned about this lady's, these people get on my nerves in my house. He was so concerned about this woman's mental health and her crying and not feeling wanted, in terms of her job and the fans. He wanted to fix it. Say, "Hey, I'll give you $30,000 a month." Now, what he did tell me, y'all, this was something that made sense, because I'm in my head trying to figure this out. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He shared with me that, he had went to therapy. And one of the things that he learned in therapy about himself, and y'all, we spoke about therapy on this channel. So if y'all ass ain't in therapy, you need to get in therapy, okay? Because we all have been traumatized, okay? Simon stated that what he learned in therapy about himself is that he does not like to see people, let's just say, struggle. If he's in a relationship with you, you ain't finna struggle. I get it. But what that meant for him, though, is he's taking on other people's problems. Example, Porsha's situation. He's like, "Girl, okay, I'm gonna give you the 30,000. That's gonna help you out." What he said, though, he realized that he had abandonment issues growing up. And like I said, I don't know if you guys have ever been to therapy, but a lot of times when you have experienced something, you don't want other people to experience it. So he's learned that through his abandonment issues, he tries to save people. He tries to save women. So he's learned that is why he is constantly in these situations with women, which is a good thing, because we really have to take responsibility for our own actions. So one of the things he said, "Listen, because I went through that, I try to save these hoes." He didn't say that, I'm saying it. these hoes. He was saving these hoes. Okay. Now, what y'all need to understand. Wait a minute, y'all. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm back. What y'all need to understand. If who got a mortgage? If y'all got a mortgage, if you ever owned a house, maybe you don't own one now, put a 1 in the chat because I need to know who I'm speaking to. Because if not, I'm gonna have to break this thing all the way down. If you guys have ever owned a house at any point in time in your life, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, so we do got some homeowners or used to own a house. So the bad part of this whole entire situation is what the people was saying was a win for Porsha is not a damn win. This ain't a win. This is not a win at all. Simon told me he got, if I heard him correctly, now I thought I heard him correctly say he got millions of debt, child. So if he has all of this debt, what do you think is going to happen to it? Because he has assured that this property will end up in foreclosure. That's exactly where it's going to go. He's confirmed that, and I believe him. And I've been saying it like, listen, the property is going to end in foreclosure. One other thing I want to share with y'all. I think I mentioned this. I said Simon is not a cold-hearted person. He just feels like you hoes or those hoes over there was effing with him. And now, since you want to play, let the games begin. He also said that some of the bills for that house, he still pays. For instance, the water bill. He says, listen, some of that stuff is on auto pay. I ain't even wasting my time to get it turned off or whatever. They can just pay it. So it just kind of goes to show how, what type of person he is. Okay. He ain't that low down and dirty, because I would have been like, oh, you finna have no water. Water company, excuse me, you need to listen. Let me change my credit card number. But he didn't do it. So, the house is going to end. I mean, it's going to eventually go into foreclosure. That is what's going to happen. Now, one thing he did share with me, he shared a lot of stuff with me. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna put it in videos, because we was kind of like all over the place at different times in the conversation. This is why you know that he really thought that he found somebody that he can probably spend the rest of his life with. He said, listen, he knew pretty much what he was doing. This wasn't why he signed a prenup. He wanted to sign it. He got money. If he got money and he marrying somebody and he's saying, okay, if it's a possibility, if we get a divorce, why wouldn't he want to help the woman that's simple, right? But he realized that this woman didn't love him. He realized this. And guess what? I know y'all have heard that before too.
When you marry somebody, they become first. When you marry somebody, they become first. Even your parents, it becomes second to the person that you're married to.
Now, you've hung out with Porsha and Simon, I think several times.
I have.
Do you feel like it was ever real?
Well, is this a game? Are we pleading the fifth? Because I plead the fifth.
It's not every day I get to sit down with you, so I have to know. Do you feel like...
Is this called sip and drink or something?
Okay.
I'm a drink on that one, honey.
Do you feel like Porsha loved him? Do you feel like Simon loved Porsha?
Yes. Simon loved Porsha.
Okay. We'll just leave that there.
Now, y'all heard Nene when asked, do you think Porsha loves Simon? She said, can I plead the fifth? Simon has figured this out. He thought about this, and the conclusion that he has arrived to is during the time that Porsha filed for divorce, he has realized different things happen at different times. So he feels as if this was something that she had planned from the beginning. Because he feels like this is something that she planned from the beginning, he feels like this ain't never loved him. It was always about the money from the beginning. And because of that, he ain't paying shit. And when I tell you, it's a few things I'm not going to say on here because that's just the type of person that I am. But when I tell you he has people working to help him, just believe the people is working to help him. And when the man say that the property is going to end in foreclosure, if the judgment does not, if they don't change it around, that's exactly what's going to happen. Again, I ain't finna tell y'all everything, but just trust and believe that this property is going to, more than likely, it will go into foreclosure. What y'all saying in the chat? What if Simon, I'm going to put this, what if Simon get a judgment against Porsha for defamation and put a lien against the Duluth home? Well, that is going on. I haven't paid attention to that. We didn't really speak on that, but I think I know it's still going on. So we didn't really talk about that. I really feel like if she would have stopped, he would have stopped. I don't believe that he really intentionally wants to do anything malicious toward her. But think about it. We're all people who want to be feeling like somebody is just using them for their damn money. Now, listen, Simon is clearly generous. I mean, he was going to give you the damn money anyway. All he wanted was for you to at least like him. This woman didn't like him. I'm just reading texts, y'all. So y'all, this ain't gonna be good. And listen, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm team Simon all the way now because I was able to speak to him. I understand his personality. He did not scam this woman. He didn't scam this woman. He was clearly a man that saw a big booty. I mean, y'all know how it is. He saw that big booty and he was like, hey, he shouldn't have saw the booty. Y'all men, stop looking at these women's booties. Telling y'all, it's gonna steer y'all wrong each and every time. She's going to be on the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. What will her storyline be going? What will her storyline going to be on the next season? That's interesting because somebody just sent me something. Let's see. Somebody just sent me something and I'm going to read this. It says, Bravo told her if she came back that next season, she would need to talk about how she got Simon. She told them she would only come back if she didn't. Bravo, not knowing Simon didn't want her on TV anyway. So those fake tears that second month was game. Okay. So from the message that I received, it looks like she's going to have to talk about her relationship, which she has not talked about. So we got to see how that's going to go. Okay. But like I said, I like Simon. I feel like he is a cool individual. And not only that, he also, he's very aware of situations where allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly on this one, where Porsha has been with other men. And I mean, we talked about that. He's aware of that situation as well. So could y'all blame him? I can't blame him because look, I mean, come on now. You want to use me for the money that I was going to give to you anyways? Like, come on. Like, where do they do that at? This man had agreed to let you live in the house for 3 years. Oh, and this is the part that I didn't tell y'all. I kind of got sidetracked. Simon told me if he and Porsha would have been married for at least 5 years, he said he would have purchased the house and she could have had the house. He said not only would he would have purchased that house, he said he would have paid off her Duluth home. I told y'all, I said Porsha played herself. What, you know what though? In all honesty, one of the other things he said, He said he feels like this was a blessing because the woman never wanted him anyway. So you see how things work out for the good. He says that he feels like being in Dubai is a blessing. In all actuality, too, he said that that is really where he had really wanted to be at some point in their relationship. So, you know, he did say those things. He said he would have actually purchased that house. And I mean, she could have had it. He said, listen, she could have had the house. He said, if we were married for 5 years, he said he did not have a problem with Porsha pretty much having that property. He said, too, one of the reasons that he chose the interest only jumbo loan is just in case of some shit like this. So maybe he wanted to, you know, at least try to, you know, protect himself just a little bit. But y'all see how she played herself? He said he would have purchased the house. She could have had it. And he said he would have, you know, paid off her property, the Duluth home. But I think it worked out exactly how it was supposed to. Somebody said, millionaire movement. Simon don't want her assets. He is not going to let her get his. Simon a gentleman, damn, fighting to not hit his. Boggs Girl says, Simon a gentleman, damn, fighting to not hit his DM. Oh, I'm glad you said that too, because you made me think of something, y'all. Do y'all remember this right here? Because you made me remember that, because I'm kind of reading my notes, but sometimes I don't like to read them like that. Do y'all remember this crazy right here?
Is not who y'all think he is. He is far from a decent person. I know, but looks can be deceiving. He is not at all, ladies. And though everyone is flawed, I get that. He is not even close to what you think that he is. Even if he gets to the point he's going to ask you to, I got a different account. I like to video you so I can look at you in person. When he asks to FaceTime, video, whatever, from Instagram, it does not matter what it is. He is not who you think he is.
Well, anyway, this bitch is crazy. Like, when I heard that, I was like, who? He said he don't know who the hell this woman is. And I believe him, because whoever this lady is, she's talking about an Instagram message. Maybe somebody catfished this lady, because I asked Simon, I said, Simon, who is that woman? Because actually, when we got off the phone, I was like, dang, I forgot to ask him. He doesn't even know this lady. So if you listen to her message, she's talking about receiving a message and somebody asking for her bank account. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna share something that happened to me. I had a friend. He had a business. He lived in Wisconsin, and we would always share ideas of different things. I don't know how somebody inboxed me with his information. So when I looked at it, I thought it was him. And again, we would always share information about different business stuff. And this time he sent me a message. He was like, well, I know this one, or whatever it was. He was like, all I need is your social security number. Now, keep in mind, this is somebody that I trust, right? So it didn't even dawn on me that it wasn't him, because this is somebody I trust. If he if he needed, I just give it to him, because that's kind of the way we, share information. Come to find out, y'all, I hadn't gave somebody my damn social security number, and it wasn't even them. So I'm saying it to say, this lady, somebody could have very well sent her a message or asking her for information. That wasn't Simon. Why in the hell would Simon be on the internet asking people for That don't even make sense. So he said he doesn't even know who that lady is. And, possibly maybe, somebody catfished her, or maybe the lady just looking for attention. He said he don't know that hoe. He didn't say that, y'all. He just said he didn't know the lady, but he said a lot. He provided me a lot of good information, but he definitely said he did not know that lady. Now, I don't know if y'all had the opportunity to check out the first video I did earlier, because when we were getting to the end of the call, he has shared with me about Porsha's mother and the visa situation. Now, some people were in the chat saying, when did this happen? This was during the time that they were together. This wasn't like anything that happened recent. And what it means is, obviously, you go to Costa Rica, you have to have a visa. So she had the visa, but what he said is she owed taxes. So somehow, although she was able to get there, I guess during the time that they were there, they ended up revoking it because she owed the Internal Revenue Service some money, and she told them that she was not a resident of the United States. Now, I don't know if she told them this during the trip, but at some point she had told them this, and then they had revoked the visa. So he actually had to take her to the U.S. Embassy to get an emergency. Dar, you're going to have to go back and rewatch the video. I already stated how I got in contact with Simon, but I'll go ahead and repeat it. So I reached out to Simon months ago. He said that obviously he get a lot of messages. He didn't see it, but that's fine. I mean, I had to move on. So he sent me a message a couple of days ago, and I had reached out to him and told him, because I had a lot of stuff that I was doing. I said, Simon, I'll get back to you, once I get whatever it was I was doing. But I reached out to him this morning, and I actually looked at the clock wrong because I thought it was like 4 a.m. in Dubai, but it was actually 4 p.m. So I originally reached out to him, and I didn't hear anything back from him, and he had reached out to me a couple of days ago. You said that visa story don't sound right. Well, honey, I'm not here to make it sound right to you. I'm just telling you what he told me, and I doubt that he's making up shit just for me to tell y'all. I mean, why would you need to make up a story about a visa? I mean, sometimes we got to use our own brain to ascertain some of the stuff we heard, because I'm not sure why a grown-ass man is making up a story about Porsha mama and a visa, honey. I mean, that's you and your brain. What else y'all saying in the chat? Facts. Them scammers do it all the time. They always start, hey, how are you doing? Yes. Somebody said, okay. May I ask why you believe him? He really doesn't seem truthful, especially based on his past actions. Newbie, me, what is his past actions? Like, what do you know something I don't know? Would you like to come up and share that? Because I mean, I think I kind of mentioned this when I first did the video. When I originally talked about Simon, it was about what I had saw in the blogs. And what I had originally said is, when he started detailing the moments that Porsha filed for divorce, and then all of the information that was put out about him, he figures that it came from Porsha. And let's be realistic here. Simon is in his 60s. Some of the stuff that they said he did, you do realize that was like 40 something years ago, right? People change. I mean, none of us is perfect. If you're perfect, I want to know how you got to be perfect. So whatever he could have did, that was 40 something years ago. I mean, y'all still talking about it, whatever it was. I mean, he ain't killed nobody. Y'all act like it was like, I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all. But I mean, people do stuff. But I mean, we talking about something from 40 some years ago. I mean, that's over 4 decades. I don't know what to tell y'all. Why y'all still talking about that? I mean, he's successful. I mean, you have people who are criminals in and out of jail, never does nothing with their lives. So, I mean, but you want to talk about something that somebody did 43, 45 years ago? I guess, girl, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's too much for me. I want to hear the success story. I don't want to keep talking about what you did 43 years ago, girl, because I done did something myself. So if I don't want to talk about something somebody did 43 years ago, listen, girl, when I was 19, I used to beat people up, child. So look, I don't want to talk about how I used to beat them people up. Okay. You can't get a house that's off schemes and fake money. I don't even know how you can buy something with fake money. Now, I don't know how you can do that. But hey, I mean, listen, I don't know. I think y'all know something that I don't know. Because if you can scheme and get a $7 million house, I may need you to call me and tell me what the scam is. I may be willing to do it. Okay. Because I don't know. Y'all be woo-wee. Listen, I know scammers, and generally they don't last very long. U.S. citizens don't need a visa to go to Costa Rica. What probably happened is she said she was a resident of Costa Rica, so she didn't have to pay taxes, and they found her out. Okay. See, I don't know. I've never been to Costa Rica. I mean, I've never been there, so I really couldn't tell you. All I know is that she said that she wasn't a citizen of the U.S., so therefore that became a problem. Good question, but I can't tell you because I've never been there. Newbie, did you want to come up? Because I'm I thought maybe you knew something that I didn't. Yeah. What y'all saying in the chat? Okay, Miss Boss Chick said, why 5 years? Well, why would you marry somebody from the beginning of your marriage? I mean, if you think about it, the prenup said after they divorced, he would give her this sum of money, which he was willing to do up front. So I guess when he said that he would have been willing to purchase the house, because I mean, dang, 5 years. I mean, at least she's put some skin in the game. I mean, I would say that's why he said 5 years. I mean, most people that's married and they get a divorce, a lot of times those people have been married for years. I have a friend that was married about 20 something years. He was a police officer. When him and his wife got divorced, he had to give her like half of his pension. I mean, they were together for 20 some years. Don't nobody want to marry somebody today and next week you take all of their stuff. I mean, I don't even know you, lady. So I'm assuming that is what he meant when he said, if we had been married for some time. I mean, I don't think people get married to get a divorce. Obviously it happens, but I think what he was saying is he would have felt more comfortable. I mean, they had been married for some time. That's what I gather from that. I just, gathered that he felt as if he had been bamboozled. You said why Porsha didn't pay for her ma'am trip? I don't know what that means. I believe Simon truly loved Porsha. If he was scamming, then Porsha enjoyed the scam life. Listen, I keep telling y'all, listen, I know people that scam and ain't none of them living like that. So I mean, the man was in ICE detention. So you have to understand that being in ICE detention, they done looked at all of his, I don't know, y'all gonna keep on saying the scam stuff. I don't know. Can y'all get some proof? Y'all keep saying scam. Oh my goodness. Y'all be tripping. All right, what y'all saying? What an awful situation. But if she abandons her efforts to keep the home, what happens then? Well, I don't think she's going to abandon her efforts. I think Porsha is going to try to go all the way. I just know that it won't work. He did. Okay. So this is where I believe the scammer situation is coming from. I believe there was something that happened about 40 something years ago, and people are still talking about it 40 something years later, because y'all know that's what people do. Whenever you do something, they want to keep talking about it. But that's what I believe. There was something that happened many moons ago that they keep talking about. I mean, right, what y'all saying? You said Simon is good on paper. He intelligent and unselfish, but he doesn't have to be everybody's fool either. That's true. That is very true. And here's the deal. I don't even think he really look at it like that, because people, generous people, they don't look at as if they're being a fool. They naturally want to help. That's just what they do. But the situation with her, he realized that she never really wanted him. It was all for a come up from the beginning. So with that, he just wasn't feeling it. Right. You said Simon. Here's the deal. If you have a conversation with Simon, you know that he's very intelligent. You can kind of tell who he is just by talking to him over the phone. That man ain't no damn scammer. He's not a scammer. He does not give scammer vibes at all. Not at all. So Porsha is having to come out of pocket $40K a month to keep up the fake lifestyle. Maybe she ain't paying it. We don't know if she's paying it, do we? Porsha could have paid. I don't know what that meant. Okay. She doesn't feel like he was a scammer. She just wanted out. Why ask for all the money from a scammer? Right. I mean, if he is a scammer, then how you gonna get this money? So, and that was another thing I was saying. Think about it. You think Porsha went into a prenuptial agreement? Keep in mind, the prenuptial agreement was one-sided. So you think she went into that thinking or knowing that he couldn't pay because he was a scammer? Girl knew he wasn't a scammer. And that was another thing that he said. He feels like she put this information out to try to ruin his reputation. Another thing, because I missed something. One of the things that he said his reputation is very important to him. He said, and that's another reason why he's going to pretty much do whatever it is he needs to do, because he feels like this was an attack on his, on him as a person, his character. And he just did not like that. Listen, 14 months of marriage, that's all I'm saying. It's not even what he agreed. And that's what I was trying to get people to understand. If somebody is agreeing to pay you that kind of money, they got it, because he very well could have said after 5 years of marriage. I mean, this was, hey, we get married, we go, into a divorce or whatever. I'm going to pay this. 14 months, girl, go get out of here somewhere. I wonder what her friends are telling her now. What friends? I don't think she has any friends. If he had not been deported, it would look very differently, because and this is why Simon told me, he said, him being deported has been a blessing in disguise, because had he been in the US, he would be paying it. You see what I'm saying? And he strongly feels that Porsha has something to do with him being deported. And there's some more information on that, but like I said, I got to look at my notes and kind of figure out how I'm a relay the information, because like I said, we talked about a few different things. But yeah, he strongly believes that was part of what was done to him. Somebody said maybe Dennis will pay the mortgage. Also, since you brought up Dennis, let's talk about Dennis for a second. Simon said, I hate when I say Simon said. So what Simon did tell me, he said during his relationship with Porsha, he said her and Dennis had a horrible relationship. And I'm going to give you guys an example, and y'all probably can relate. You know how you have a baby daddy and, they probably supposed to pick up the child, and it's kind of like they want to do it whenever they want to. He said they had a horrible relationship, and he felt like he did not respect Porsha. What Simon did say is that he told or he referred Porsha to somebody to do a parenting plan. with the parenting plan, they talk about, different pickups with the child, different stuff like that, a whole bunch of different stuff as it relates to the child. So he said that once he referred Porsha to somebody that he knew to create a parenting plan for her and Dennis, that is when their relationship changed. So he said, during, the time him and Porsha was together, Dennis was really treating Porsha like the trash that she is. Not one of his other wives talked bad about him. And that's what I said. I said, listen, this could not be his character. And here's another thing too. I'm glad you brought that up. You said not one of his other wives talked bad about him. Honestly, everybody that I've came across that know him in Atlanta, they all say good stuff. I haven't met anybody that said anything bad about him. Like when you hear people calling him a scammer, those are fans or people online. Those are not real people that has actually met him. On the other hand, now, when we talk about Porsha, yes, I've met a lot of people that don't say nice things about Porsha, unfortunately. And these are a combination of people who used to be friends with her and things of that nature. I don't know anything about his first child. I mean, that's kind of getting into another kind of territory, isn't it? We talking about his relationship with his children. Do you know his children? Or that's kind of crazy. He did mention anything about PJ. Well, the only thing he mentioned about PJ is the parenting plan that I was just mentioning. He said that Dennis and Porsha, the relationship was a mess. What he said was that Dennis treated Porsha like trash. And he said that he helped her. He referred her to somebody that developed a parenting plan for her and Dennis. He said after that happened, where they developed this parenting plan, that's when their relationship changed. So that was the only thing he mentioned about PJ. His first Black wife, and he abandoned his first two kids. His son started coming around now, but his daughter still doesn't mess with him. I don't know who they are. He said his first Black wife. Do they live in Georgia? Maybe he did his baddie wives good, but not his first Black Jamaican wife that was with him when he was broke. Okay. I only know about Porsha and Fallon. I don't really know about any of his other wives. Porsha had that narrative out there about him and everyone jumped on the bandwagon. Yes. And see, when you talk about that narrative, when I was speaking to him, the way that everything kind of hit the media, that's why he feels like Porsha had a hand in putting that stuff out there. And that's kind of what he believes. She played herself like a fiddle with no strings attached, and she lost out. 14 months of marriage tells me she couldn't stand his. Exactly. She didn't want him touching her. Yeah, 14 months. You was out of there. It seems like 14 months she had put up with all she can put up with, and she was cringing and ready to get the hell on. 14 months. And what he said was, he's trying to text and, he calling her mama. Nobody is responding. And he's like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. So he started to figure it out that this is a scheme that Porsha set up. Dennis allowed himself to be filmed in another man's house. Very disrespectful and low down. And we did speak briefly about that. And this is how I know that Simon is not a bitter person, because he was just like, look, if they don't respect themselves, I don't expect them to respect me. He said, listen, that's on them. So I don't even think he cared. I don't, honestly, to be totally honest, and he did say this, Simon said, I don't give up about that house. He really don't care about that house. He says, I don't care. It's really the principle. It's the principle. He really don't care. It's the principle. I don't blame Dennis for treating her like that. The way she got with Simon and moved his daughter in with that man was a mess, right? Yeah, he doesn't he don't care about the house, and I totally believe him. He sounds happy. I think it's just like he said, listen, you MFers want to play with me? Okay, well, let the show begin. Y'all want to play? Let the show begin. And when I tell you that he has people working to help him, just believe what I say. I'm not going to go into detail, but just know that this property is going to end in foreclosure. It's going to end in foreclosure because, again, oh, let me share something else with y'all. And I said this before, but I'm going to share something with y'all too. And I did mention this on one of my videos, and you know, like I said, Simon was like, yeah, I was watching your channel. Okay, do y'all remember this? So Simon had got sued by that jet company, and it ended up getting dismissed or some shit because he wasn't properly served. Well, that's like $1 million debt. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? This is stuff that he truly owes. Hello. So that's $1 million right there off the property. I feel like Simon is smarter and will win in the end. Marrying Porsha was dumb, but he's not a spring chicken. He knows the game. He will win. Yeah, he was just looking at the booty. I mean, I don't know. It's the booty. I'm telling you, the booty. Just blame it on the booty. For all the women who have sons, you must know that Porsha plays Simon for no good reason. No one wants to see their son get played like that. She do not deserve it. She do not deserve it. Well, I wouldn't really say he got played. I mean, he's an OG. He did everything that he wanted to do. He only pretty much was like, I'm not, gonna pay this prenup money because he obviously feels like this woman never loved him in the first place. But I don't really feel like he got played. I mean, he figured out at some point that, this broad don't really want me for anything but my money. So he called it and he said, listen, I ain't paying shit. I ain't paying it. I'm not paying it. All while going out buying him a new Range Rover and living his best life. And I mean, I just don't understand why anybody that was married for 14 months. Now, I get it. It's in the prenup. He did agree to do it, but you are not a good person, ma'am. The collector may add the $1 million debt to his portion of the house. He really eating up all his equity. No, he will eat. So let me make sure you understand, newbie. He can eat up all the equity in the house, just so you are aware. There will be none. So unfortunately, the way that it works with these debts, because the house is in his name, there's no split. So when you say eating up all his equity, he can eat up all the equity. So it doesn't work like that, just so you know. So what that means is there will be nothing there. Obviously, if Porsha wanted this property, is she gonna pay the debts? Simon ain't tripping. He has the money. Porsha will be slaving for NBC Universal for the rest of her life unless she finds another Simon. However, I doubt it. Another super rich man will marry her. Well, here's the deal. As far as Nigeria is concerned, don't go back. Yeah, don't go over there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure she'll find somebody. I mean, she got Kelvin. What is it? Future. Allegedly, who else? I mean, Dennis, I guess. But that is bag lady sees. You said bag lady sees it coming. What happened to all Simon's personals in the house. He never got to go back. You know what, Dar? I was going to ask him that, but I didn't ask him. Yeah, I'm not sure. I did not even get a chance to ask him. But that was something that I was thinking of that I didn't even ask him about his personals. But you know what? Maybe I'm going to put this up there. Dar M said, what happened to all Simon's personals in that house? He never got to go back to. Now, he did tell me this with regards to his vehicles, all of the cars that he had. Somebody did come and get the cars. So I think when we got, we were talking about that, I forgot to ask him about like the personal stuff, like your clothes, but he did say they picked up all of his vehicles. The only one that is there is the Rolls Royce that he bought for Porsha, but they'll be getting that one soon too. But yeah, but I did not ask him about personal. I think I got sidetracked when we start talking about the vehicles. Yeah, but he called them some grifters, y'all. Did y'all know what grifters mean? Let me look it up for y'all, because I said grifters. So let me look it up. I was saying something else, and he was like, no, they're grifters. All right, y'all. Let me share with y'all what a grifter is, because I'm like, what? I had to literally look it up when I had him on the phone. So I'm like, I've never even heard of that word. So he say they some grifters. So this is what a grifter is: a person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. Isn't that something? Grifter. A grifter is a con artist, someone who swindles people out of money through fraud. If there's one type of person you don't want to trust, it's a grifter. So that's, Simon said they grifters, child. I said, grifters? What that mean? You said Dr. Ubar is an example of a grifter. I had never heard of that before. I said a grifter. She can't pay for nothing. I thought she signed a big deal with NBC. Child, I don't know. The deal ain't working or something, honey. I don't know. But of course, we know that Porsha is taking him back to court with regards to asking the judge to take his name off the property. But again, Porsha, let me finish my thought. Porsha is really not understanding, or maybe she don't care. I don't know what the hell she's thinking, but his debts is going to be attached to this property. It will eat up the equity. Now, another thing he shared with me, and I said, I absolutely believe this. It seems like Porsha's attorney is really just, invoicing to really charge money, so that he can, get paid himself. I was also told, now Simon didn't say this, but I know I saw this somewhere on the blogs or something, that Porsha's attorney also, put a lien on the property because he didn't get paid. But essentially, she's still working with him. But Simon is thinking that this guy is really not helping her. But in all honesty, it's really not nothing the attorney can do once Simon's debts be attached to the property. What the hell can the lawyer do? Nothing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if she's making 8 to 9 million, you're right. Because she making 8 to 9 million, she should get half, right? Well, not necessarily. Think about it. If she's making 8 to 9 million, you got to cut that in half, because that's a high earner. So she would get, let's say she's making 8 million, she would get 4 million, right? Because she would definitely, be taxed. But it seems like she can make it work with 4 million, right? Somebody said, I guess Randy wants to buy the house too. Apparently, maybe. We don't know, but what else y'all saying? Oh, forgot about that. High earner, plus she has to pay her team. Yeah, she does have a team that she has to pay. Didn't even think about that. So you think about 8 million comes down to 4 million, and then she does have to pay her team. That money go fast. I want a $7 million house too, but I can't afford it. I think about maintenance, property taxes. Like, y'all funny. You know what? If I could afford it, I wouldn't want a $7 million house. For what? I mean, that's a waste. Like, who? Porsha has her and her daughter. Like, girl, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want a $7 million house if I could afford it. For what? I ain't never had one. What I need one for now. I don't need that. I don't need it. I mean, 1.5, 2. I'm fine with that. You gotta crawl before you can walk. Hey, Kay. So how did he make so much but have so much debt? Okay, well, I'm not Simon, but I can tell you why. Just in my little basic life. It's something like the more money you make, I don't know. Do y'all experience this? It's like you still get a lot of damn bills. I mean, I find myself, I used to use my debit card, which I don't use anymore. I use my credit card, and I keep asking myself, I'm using my credit card for basic shit. Why do I feel like I keep paying all of this damn money? So now I really start keeping track. I don't know. It just, the money be going out the damn window. So I don't know. Generally, even when people make a lot of money, they still have debt because generally you're not paying cash, right? You're using a card. And if you're not paying off the card based on what you use, at some point you still accumulating debt. So, people can have money and still accumulate debt because keep in mind, they're not paying cash. You are racking up a bill that you're going to have to pay later. The more money I make, the richer I become. I keep my debts low. I do too. I'm talking about, at this point, Boggs girl, basic shit. I'm talking about the basic necessities have went up. Because I'm not a big spender either. I keep my stuff to a minimal, but I'm talking about regular shit like food, like stuff that you got to buy around your house. Everything is going up. So listen, I understand. I agree with you, Lakeysha. If I was a millionaire, I would just have a condo. Property taxes are so much high. Listen, if I was rich, I would not buy a $7 million house. I don't need a $7 million house. For who? Why would I need a house with 12 bedrooms? Who gonna be in them? That's a waste of money. She wants that big house to keep up with appearances. Shamia. Yeah, Shamia has 2 kids, a husband, and working on another baby. So they're not the same. They are not the same. Y'all know kids, if you have kids, really, you can get a big house because they'll run around the damn house all day. So it's different when you have kids, but Porsha has 1 daughter. It's not like she got kids. EA says everything is expensive. It sure in the hell is. Like, I just went to Publix and I literally bought, what the hell did I buy? I don't even know. It was like $60. Because I still don't got shit in the refrigerator. Like, I literally bought a few things. Oh, I bought some turkey, some what did I bought? Some turkey, some roast beef. And damn, that's all I remember. Oh, I bought some lemonade. I bought like 5 damn things. It was like $60. What the is going on? Everything is just costing too much. Exactly. We spend $300 on grocery every 2 weeks. Exactly. I'm telling y'all, the food is just, it's too much. It is too much. So when I'm talking about basic stuff, because I'm not a big spender. I don't waste money either. But some things you just have to buy. And I just realized that the shit is costing a lot every time. It seems like it's more and more and more. Oh, you're in New York City, but I'm here in Atlanta, and I like to buy that damn, what is that juice? That's like $7. What is that? Simply lemonade or whatever that shit is that I'm about to stop drinking. It's just, everything is high. It is high. Everything is high. It is definitely high. I bet Porsha got areas of that mansion collecting dust balls. Of course, because it's only her and her daughter. Oh, and her mama. Why her damn mama gotta go everywhere? What is that all about? Of course it's collecting dust. I mean, how can you really use a house that big, and it's only 2 people. It's too, you don't need a house that big. You don't. Not with you and your daughter. You don't. Well, there's no way she can use all of those rooms. I think that house has 7 bedrooms? I mean, at most, 2 and maybe 2 guest rooms, 4 bedrooms. I mean, that would be way more than what they need. But of course, you want to pretend that you something that you ain't. Your ass finna be homeless. You finna be homeless. But I don't know. I do know this house is definitely gonna end in foreclosure. I know that, but I don't know what Porsha's game plan is. But Simon ain't effing around with these hoes. He tired of these hoes playing with him. Somebody said Porsha is like the black Etta Nicole Smith. She is a dingbat. Oh, she most definitely needs to wear blonde. She just needs to be blonde because she definitely the bird brain of, girl. Here's the deal though. Porsha reputation gonna be so bad after this damn house going to foreclosure. She gonna need to move to Tennessee. Her mom and Lauren probably lives there half the time with her daughter. Well, we know her mama do. We know she do. I really used to like Porsha, but I just can't respect how she moves. Really get with it. Yeah. Somebody said, has Porsha been on YouTube lately? I don't know. Sometimes I see when people go live, but then sometimes I don't, and I haven't went to her channel. Let's see. I don't know. Good question. Let's see. I don't know. Sometimes it'll show up, but sometimes it might not show up. What is it called? Porsha. What is her channel called? What do y'all know? Is it Porsha? Porsha for real. Let's see when the last time she posted something. Let's see. Porsha. It says a month ago. But I think it was probably longer than that because it looks like she did something talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. So it doesn't seem like she's been on there that much. Porsha created a YouTube channel doing mukbangs, and you saw all that shit she was hoarding in her bedroom. She had treadmills in her bedroom. It was a mess. She has no money management and knowledge. Yeah, she doesn't appear to be a very tidy person to me. And I know I happened to come across another YouTuber's video, and he said the same thing. I was like, no, I know it wasn't just me. She doesn't appear to be very tidy, like a very clean person. Just doesn't appear to be that to me from what I've saw. It's okay to move forward and walk away with stability. Get counseling and get help with the decisions you make going forward. She didn't even finish her basement. Okay. Like, how do you have an unfinished basement in a property that you've owned for years? That would have been the first thing I did. Y'all remember when Dennis had put his clothes down there? She made Dennis put his clothes in the basement and wanted him to give her half of what she had put down on her property. Child, please. I get it, girl. Get your money, but don't be so obvious. It looks crazy. But yeah, that basement, that unfinished basement, and you've been in that house for what, 7 years, at least 8 years? That's a mess. Well, according to Simon, he would have paid it off had they been married for 5 years. He said he would have paid it off. But Porsha showed her hand. Now, if y'all didn't get a chance to like the video, can y'all please like the video? Because y'all know some of y'all just be sitting in here not even liking the video. Okay, I appreciate it. She didn't even finish her basement. I read that one already. When I heard what she did to Nene, yes, with the Netflix Upshaws, yeah, right? And here's the deal, though. And this is what people have told me specifically about Porsha is she just really isn't a good friend. And that you kind of see it play out with other people. Now, y'all remember, if you've been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta for any amount of time, when Porsha dragged Kenya off that couch, who ran over there to help her? Nene. Covering up her mouth. Nene was covering up her mouth so that we wouldn't hear what she was screaming out saying, because Nene didn't want her to look like a fool. But yeah, they say this about Porsha all the time, that she's just she ain't a good person. Kay said, is her house still on the market? I believe so. I saw it like last week, so I'm gonna say yes. At least Kenya and Sheree made glam rooms. The mukbangs went crazy. Like, girl, why are you filming yourself eating? Exactly. And here's the deal. Why are you doing mukbangs and you on The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Isn't that weird? You don't have nothing else you can be doing but sitting on here eating. It just didn't go together. Like, yeah, that was kind of crazy, because she could have done anything but eat food. Like, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing, Porsha? Somebody says she can't buy toilet paper for all those bathrooms. Okay. In their basement, utilize their basements. They don't utilize their basement. Yes, I remember that squabble. Somebody says she's just not a girl's girl. Yeah, she a girl's girl to take your man, honey, because that's all she wants is your nickel. Love your tea and updates. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, y'all about to get up off of here. I will see y'all later. Because like I said, I got to look at my notes. Like I took a lot of notes. It was a really good conversation. And I'm going to put together, some more videos on some other stuff that he said. But I thought this one was important because we have been talking about the house, and I've been trying to tell y'all that damn property is going into foreclosure.
Laykeisha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, 'cause the tea don't